Well, Eriks, Ilya, thank you so much for joining us on this special edition of Line Change. As you might have seen throughout the season, this was a podcast that we started with some of the Caps guys going off the ice. I would always ask them day in and day out hockey questions. I know you guys have had to stand at the podium this week and answer so many questions, but this is a little different. This is an off-ice chat, get to kind of know you guys off the ice, what you're into, things like that. And so I appreciate you sitting down and doing this with us today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
Well, I want to start with maybe your childhood and kind of how hockey came into the picture for both of you. I know you're not from the U.S., obviously, so take us through what that looked like growing up and when hockey, you really became serious about it and knew you could make a career out of it.
Yeah, I mean, my childhood started with hockey because, I was growing up watching my brother, hanging out with him every time, and he was playing hockey since like 6 years old or 7, something like that. Yeah, I started playing in the same age, so we start playing like kind of late, I would say, because I was asking like coaches who like taking care of young kids here, and I asked like what age they're starting in North America, and it's like 4, 3, 5. I'm like, wow. This really early.
Tiny, little. I think it was Nick, not to cut you off, but Nick Dowd's little kid, I think he's like 3 or something, and he's out there skating better than anyone this past year. It's really young.
Oh, yeah. When I came for a visit last year, I think I saw him, and his son, he was unreal, the best player. Yeah. So, yeah, and I think parents, my dad was really happy about I'm a boy, and so he can have another guy who'll start playing hockey. Yeah, and I started playing at 6, but I was really scared. I had a video how I started, because mom loved to take videos of me and my brother when we started.
That's what moms do.
Oh, yeah. Started playing hockey. I remember I was scared of the ice, and I did a couple steps with the coach and with the thing, what can help to skate. Mm-hmm. And I stopped and just was staying on the ice for like 5 minutes, and look at my dad, and I see my dad show me like the fist, and I'm like, I can't, and I just left the ice because I was like really scared of the ice, but my dad was kind of joking with me, and I didn't get it in the moment, so yeah, and I just left, and I think I took a year break.
Okay.
Yeah, and came back at like 7, 8, and started actually playing.
So it wasn't like you were on the ice and fell in love with it, like most guys say. You're like, no, I'm done.
I was like really scared. I love off-ice practices, like, like just push-ups, I don't know, like squats and just like stuff.
Working out,
yeah, working
like
out,
the training part.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
Very
and
cool.
playing like soccer off-ice, I loved it, but on ice, didn't get from the start.
What about you, Eriks?
Yeah, so I actually started to play soccer. I played soccer for 4 years, and because my brother was playing hockey too, my parents just took me when I was probably 7 years old on the ice. Same thing, and also with the thing, we called it a penguin. We had a penguin.
I love that name.
Yeah, and I had all my gear from brother, basically, like since I was a kid, and I just kind of tried it, liked it, and then for a year I was kind of playing both. But then at some point I just had to switch, and I chose to play hockey because soccer back home it's not good. I mean, the national team.
Yeah.
Sorry to say that, but it is true. It's too cold to play soccer there. So yeah, and since then, just kind of wasn't the best player growing up. Honestly, never was like the best player on my team, and just kind of had a good tournament. And it happened to get drafted in Canada, and since then, I took it definitely more professional, yeah. But I think back home through the whole like Latvian stage, I was like not the guy all the time, But no, it was nice, So it's definitely a great decision to come to North America earlier.
So Latvia lost Latvian Cristiano Ronaldo?
too tall to be Ronaldo.
wasn't your thing. So, well, no, you're an excellent hockey player. So we're glad you stuck with hockey and have both of you in this organization now. But Eriks, you mentioned an older brother too. So it sounds like, and Pro, I know you've had to answer so many questions about Alexei this week. You probably get sick and tired of it. So I don't want to spend too much time on that. But it sounds like you both had any other siblings for you guys?
No.
So just 2 boys in each family. Like you said, your dad was happy you were a boy because he had a second one that he could push for hockey.
Yeah, for sure.
How did each brother, for both of you, sort of influence not just your hockey career and looking up to them from a hockey standpoint, but to have an older brother in everything in life? I'm sure it makes things 10 times more competitive, and you have that guy you get to compete with, but also look up to at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I'm always asking guys, like, do you have another sibling? And they said, like, if they go like, yeah, younger, or no, I don't. I always ask, would you like to have like older brother? Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, we don't have a big gap with Alexei, so we become like a year ago like really close friends, because when I was young, 5 years, it's a really big age gap for like that time when he was like, for example, like 17. I was like 12. We can't really talk like on the same topics, and now when we start to become closer when I moved to Des Moines, to my first year in North America. Yeah, and I'm always like the first guy who will call as him and ask anything. I can ask every question, and he'll help me and find the right answer. Yeah, and hockey standpoint, of course, he's the guy.
He told us this year at some point, he obviously, he had a great year on the ice, but he still says you're the better hockey player in the family.
No, this guy just humble, too humble. I mean, I don't know how, but when the guy scored 30 goals in the show, how I can be better than him? Yeah. And
maybe one day, you never know.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, well, that's great. What about you, Eriks?
Yeah, I think it doesn't make more competitive, but it kind of makes it more easier because he can help you out. Like, he went through before you, so he knows all the difficulties. And my age gap is 4 years. Actually, our brothers played against each other in under 20 tournaments, national. So, but yeah, I think he just like knows more stuff you can always ask about. And same for me. Like, my brother was always away when he was playing hockey, and the first summer before I was going to North America, we kind of became closer. And yeah, definitely that's the first guy to call to, and he's gonna help. So same as Pro. I think that's just the beauty of having a big brother.
Is he that tall like you?
A little bit shorter, 6'4".
So he's shorter. So is Alexei's a little taller than you, right?
Yeah.
But you're called Little Pro. Even on graphics on a TV show we did earlier this week, they put up your numbers from the OHL, and it was insane. But still on the graphic, it's like Little Pro's big something. Do you like that nickname or no?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. But like, I'm fine with that. I like it, and but I like more how Zach, the strength coach, called me here, and Curry's, and they called me Hammer.
Hammer.
Yeah.
Why? How'd you get that nickname?
I don't know. Actually, I remember how I get this nickname. I was on the bench. It was the game against in USHL against the Fargo team. It was like start of the year, and coach called me like Ilya or Pro. I said, no, I don't like it. Do you have a nickname? I said like just Pro or like Ilya, just the name. I said, no, I call you Hammer. You'll be Hammer. I'm like, okay, Hammer then.
And it just stuck?
Yeah, and like kind of a couple of boys heard it, and they start calling me Hammer, and everyone's like kind of catch it and start calling me Hammer as well.
Do you have any crazy nicknames? Anything here that the boys have?
It's a Moose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since I came to Canada, had really nice coaches my first year, and yeah, it's a funny story actually. Like, I didn't have any nicknames or anything, and the first meeting I had with them is like, well, we need a nickname for you, and they start to put up, like, I didn't know English that good. They were like, you're a little moose. So I'm like, I have no clue what is moose or anything, and they just, for half an hour, they were showing me pictures of moose and laughing at it. Well, I'm just sitting there and like thinking, like, what am I doing here? But yeah, the first year was Little Moose. The second year it was like, I can't remember the name, but it was like not medium, but something. Every time I get a penalty, it was a criminal moose. And then the last year it was like just moose. It was
Little moose, criminal moose, anything with a moose. Well, that's a big, strong animal, so I guess that's a compliment.
Yeah, it was a story. So like I have to get stronger. Like I came to North America, I was
Yeah.
skinny and everything. So yeah, that's why they called me Moose, and just to like get stronger and bigger. Yeah.
Well, obviously, I know you both have talked already a lot about coming over to North America, and it's a big change for anyone to go from juniors, getting drafted, all this stuff. But it's even bigger when you're coming from Europe, your first time in North America. Eriks, I know you said you didn't know English well at first. And so describe maybe from your standpoint, not just the adjustments and the maturity you have to go through to try to make it as a hockey player, but the cultural differences as well, and what was maybe the biggest challenge for you, and just some things since being here in North America and maybe DC, the little time you've gotten to spend here, what has kind of made you been like, wow, this is different?
Yeah, I think the small talk here is completely different. Like in Europe overall, there's no small talk. Like go in the grocery store, like how are you, all that stuff. That was
get your groceries and that. I kind of like that. Like do your business and be gone.
Basically, yeah. But no, I like it here. Like the people are not in a rush that much in Canada where I was, and my billets took me really nice. It was interesting for me. Like I never lived away from home, and it was a big change. But I wanted that change. I wanted to explore, see how it is. That was the first time I was in North America when I came there. Yeah, it's definitely a cultural change, but I definitely liked it. It was something new, and kind of stepped out of my comfort zone, to explore. Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely a good decision.
How you?
My first trip to North America was really hard for me to adjust, to adapt for everything, language, mentality and stuff. It was really tough for me because actually I'm really close relationship with my family, parents, friends, and it was like for the first months I was like, it's 2 p.m. And it's like already 11 p.m. Back home.
Yeah, time change. Yeah, time change.
Yeah,
to them,
and I'm like want to call them and like kind of talk, and they're sleeping, and I'm like, oh well, okay, and I'm just was like I couldn't go somewhere and talk because I didn't know language. Right. So I was just sitting in my room for like whatever time I have before practice or something. So yeah, and but with time, I understand how big is opportunity to be here, like a player, like a person. You can grow up. Not a lot of guys got this opportunity to like improvement and develop in North America. And I was like, yeah, I gotta use this chance and leave my best out on the hockey standpoint, and just enjoy it, because on the end of the year I understand how fun is it to be here. Like I love the culture, I love the mentality, and it kind of opened up from a different side for me. So yeah, and when I came back home, of course I was like happy after season. When I came back home, I was happy to see like parents, friends, but I'm like said like, Mom, if you would be like back home, and Dad, like if you would be back home, I would not probably come back here like for summer. Yeah. But now I don't know, after this season maybe like I grew up maybe, and kind of my mental side changed a little bit. So like I think I want to be like after career, I want to be back home. So I kind of switch it back. Yeah, like home. Yeah. So, but I find out it's awesome to be here in North America, and I love the culture. And but what like I had different with language for sure. I have a couple stories. Like for example, I came to the restaurant and the waiters asked me like, "You gonna be like alone?" Oh no, she asked me, "Do you have any allergies?" And I said, "No, I'm gonna be alone today." And she's like, she started laughing. So, and I'm like, "What did I say?" And she's, "No, all good, all good." So yeah, I had couple troubles, couple funny stories. Another one I can't say on camera, but yeah.
Well, you know what? I give you guys a lot of credit, because if roles were reversed and they told me, "Hey, you got to go take a broadcasting job in Russia. It's one thing, the culture, but you both mentioned the language and really not knowing English. And I think we did, when you came to visit Big Pro, we did an interview for the radio network, and interview went great. But I specifically remember at the end, and this was just a few months ago, at the end of the interview, you apologized because you said your English wasn't, you're like, I'm sorry for my English for this. I was like, no, this is great. So how do you guys, I'm sure there's people within the organizations and stuff that work with you, but I guess one question I always have is it's hard to learn another language. I mean, I could not. I give you a lot of credit with that. So
did you try to learn any languages?
When I was in high school, I did French. I did French in high school, and then I had to take like the basic French in college, but I was so focused on my major, which was broadcast journalism and reporting, that I did the class you had to do to like get your degree, and that was it. And I did not stick with it. So I learned it enough to get good grades when I was in the class, and then I was done. I forgot about it, and I really couldn't tell you anything now. So I guess my question to you is how do you learn it? Like, how did you learn English? What was the most helpful thing for you?
Well, like about English, we started in school, but it's like the most basic since 3rd grade all the way till 12. It's like a basic kind of English. But when I went to Canada, I was playing in Quebec side. I was playing in Quebec. And like I didn't know I could speak English that well. I didn't have confidence because I always was thinking about like pronouncing something wrong or something and someone's going to laugh at me. But then I saw some French Canadians, some guys from Quebec, and I'm like, nope, my English is actually pretty good, some of the, like, it's no tripping to anyone, no, but it's just like, some guys didn't speak English at all there. So that kind of gave me a confidence that, like, I'm not the only one here and I can go and try to speak to everyone. That definitely helped.
I know you just mentioned you played in the Quebec League. Didn't you cross paths in juniors at some point, I was told? No, never? Okay.
Brothers.
Your brothers did?
Only. Yeah,
okay, just your brothers, but not you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Camp. The only.
Yeah.
Just
at
the
here?
camp.
Okay.
Well, like also agency camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of camp, here at camp this week, I know you're both going through it for the second time. Probably feel a little more settled this time, not coming straight from the draft, all this crazy stuff. And I've already seen the stuff on Capital's social media this week, the little challenges and everything you do. And it looks like, Ilya, you and Cole Hudson already had a little chirping, some stuff going on. And if you know anything about the Capitals team, especially this year, which obviously you do, pranks were a huge part of this season. I think Brandon Duhaime was at the front of it, although he'll deny it every single time. And there was always something going on. And so I know camp can be maybe a little hard because a lot of the guys, but some of them maybe the new draftees you don't, and everyone's kind of feeling it out. But throughout the course of this week, would you say off the ice in the locker room, is there any kind of jokes, pranksters, any of that stuff already going on with you guys?
Yeah, with time group start open up more and more, and there is like you meet the guys, talk to them more, and but from the start it was kind of like like in always, it's everyone just meet each other. It kind of was quiet, and like a chirp call, and like a couple more guys too. They see, so because I knew them from last camp, I knew them a little longer than other guys. So yeah, and I can't trip the guy who I know like 1 hour, because he'll think like I'm an
Nice
idiot
to
or
meet you.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just like, for example, Caps posted a picture of Cole playing with the kids and was like locked in, kind of like a stick on the ice, was watching the puck, and I sent it to him and like, are you serious, buddy? Like you playing against some old kid? And yeah, I was kind of laughing at it. I was asking him, should I post it on Instagram? And he said, probably not. Yeah, and so yeah, I had a little bit of fun with him and Susie, and these two guys probably the most.
Yeah. What about you? Seem a little more on the pro. You seem like you're definitely outgoing, but a little.
I'm not trapping this guy. I'm kind of scared of him.
This one?
Yeah.
You're scared of him, really?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, but I don't know. Eriks is more calm. He's They just like to just talk and stuff.
Even in this, I can tell you're maybe more of like calm. That's a good word.
I have to like get really, really comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
sense.
to be like more louder, but like as a person, I'm just more calmly like not sitting out or anything. I like to be in conversation, but like I'm not like a prankster like bro. It's like everywhere he walks, it's gonna be funny. So, and you have to learn to do that. Like I give him that. Like I probably couldn't do it. So. Yeah, it's nice to have a guy like that in the locker room.
Right,
for
it's
sure.
a good balance. All the different personalities.
Probably a couple of the guys in the room thinking I'm a clown or something.
That's what you need, I feel like, especially like on a team as you advance and the years go by, and hopefully you're on the Capitals one day. I know that's something that the team talked a lot about this year. Obviously they had a lot of new guys come in, and that's what they said was all the personalities were so different that it made it work. And that's why I think they were so good on the ice this year, but also in the locker room, got along, and just everyone, it sounds cheesy, but they all said how they loved one another, and it was just a different year than years past. And I think that's probably, it'd be boring if everybody was the same.
For sure.
You need the jokesters and the clowns, but you need the calm, collected ones as well. Okay, also this week, obviously you've done a lot of on ice stuff, but I think this week too is about just getting to know each other, getting to know the area. What have you been able to venture out? I know I forget who it was, but someone was downstairs talking to another media member talking about how they loved the Pentagon City Mall this week. They went to Lululemon like 3 times apparently. Have you guys gotten out at all this week and ventured into DC?
No, I think we'll go today to DC, but we don't know where yet.
Is it the Beyonce concert?
Probably not. We was thinking about it, but
I've heard that all week long, that was maybe how y'all were going to spend your 4th of July.
Yeah, but we got a big day tomorrow, 3-on-3 tournament, and we were thinking about
good. That's the stuff we want to put online. Already impressing your coaches.
Yeah, I would say it only on camera, though. No, actually, because last year, me, Erik's, couple more guys went downtown on the 4th of July to the restaurant. They left before the parade, the salute, I think. Yeah, and how long it take to get back?
Like from the hotel, we had 2 Ubers going to the downtown. They got there by 15 minutes.
Okay.
Or Uber got there by 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yes.
What happened?
Honestly, don't know. The traffic
they left a little bit later than us.
Yeah,
like 10
minutes later. So we go there. They already finished eating.
Yeah.
So we were eating there. We were like, no, you know what? We had enough of spending time today. Like, we're just going to go back to Uber. And we went there for like 30 minutes, I would say, coming back from DC here.
Yeah, but we had decided with our group to go to see the parade and just kind of hanging out a little bit more. And 2.5 hours. Oh my God, 2.5 hours. The ride back. So kind of long night. But I don't know what we're gonna do today. But we'll figure something out. Yeah,
traffic here. If you hit it at the wrong time, it can be. That's not fun. But it's a cool place. I mean, it's one thing to be in, the States for 4th of July, but for you guys to literally be in the nation's capital. I know that I've seen every year on TV all the crazy fireworks and stuff here. So no, it's a cool place to be. Away from the rink, what are some, I know hockey's obviously a huge part of your life, but what are some any other hobbies, anything you guys are into that the fans wouldn't know?
Well, golf, but I don't think that's something.
That's a given with hockey players. I feel like you gotta be a golfer.
But
a
like
hockey player.
Golfer from Latvia, though, that's a little bit different.
That's a little different. That's
like,
good. What's your the climate? I've never been. I'm assuming cold.
The whole June it was raining.
Yeah,
like the rain, and then there's one day it's nice, but there's so many mosquitoes and stuff. Yeah. Oh my. But there's like 6 courses all over the country. So
okay, wow, just 6 for the whole country.
Yeah,
no, wait for Belarus.
Yeah, I would say it's even worse there.
Worse there.
Just one.
Just one in the whole country.
Yeah, so I can't surprise you with golfing from Belarus. So yeah, but sometimes we go with Alexei and with Tanya, his wife, to hit some balls on the top golf. Yeah.
But, top golf.
Yeah,
that's fun.
But you're not good at it. But you'll get better with the time. And I think what I like to do, it's I stopped doing it. I don't know why, but I like to cook.
Oh.
Yeah, but how, like, for example, mom cook everything, and I just put a little bit salt in there. When I was young, she would say,
That's
like,
what moms do best.
and for example, when I was like 8, I was like, yeah, mom, I cooked it. I'm like, and mom, yeah, for sure, I didn't even help you, but I just put salt somewhere and like did some like easy work, Yeah, but now I just like to play soccer in summer. Probably that's my favorite thing to do, and I didn't have my partner on the flank. Alex, he hurt right now, so he can't run. Can't join me on
the foot.
Yeah, can't join me out there. But when he'll get back, we'll have some fun on that.
He's ridiculously good, like at soccer.
Really?
Like honestly, I played soccer, but you would say he played soccer way more than me.
Okay.
Like the skills he can have.
Could have made a career out of it if hockey didn't work out.
Definitely.
Maybe, yeah. It depends. Depends if I'll find out what else I can do. Maybe I will be a chef instead of be a soccer.
What's your go-to meal if you had to cook right now?
I actually don't cook like meals. I cook like maybe like cakes or something. Yeah, I probably would cook a cake, I would say.
A cake? Okay, so more of a baker.
Baker, yeah.
Okay,
baker.
Gotcha.
I feel like with our height, it's going to be hard to be in the kitchen. We're
Yes.
just going to hit our head all over the place.
That's a very good point. Hit your head on the pots and pans, banging up. Yeah.
I was thinking to be as a pilot as a kid, but then like I grew up way too long to be a pilot. Like I'm not going to fit there. It's already a struggle to sit on the seats and
Yes, I can attest to that. One of my best friends, she is a pilot, and there's not even many female commercial pilots, but she flies for, I think, United all across the country. And but she took me up last year in one of the very small planes. She like the single engine, and you're right, I could barely fit in there, so I don't think you guys at 6'5", 6'6" could do that. But no, this has been great today. Thank you guys so much. Want to end on one question for kind of the both of you. I know it's more of a get to know you than hockey, but obviously you guys have had tremendous careers up to this point and good camps. And I know, you're hoping one day that you'll wear that Capitals sweater in an NHL game here at Capital One Arena. So just looking back to, going back to juniors, whatever's next for you guys this upcoming season, what are you both looking to get out of this year, and kind of what are your hopes or expectations as to, when you're hopefully a Capital one day? Please, not at one time.
You go, you're older, but
okay. I mean, expectations, coming from a junior, obviously it's going to be a big step to go and play professional this year. And I just, trying to progress and, take that next step. And I think for me personally, I want to adjust as quick as possible and be a player who plays, all the games and just kind of develop, don't stop that I did on juniors. Obviously we have accomplished a lot of things, but it doesn't end there. It's a new step in life, and just want to get better every day, honestly.
I'll come to main camp, and we'll try to make a team, and we'll see what will happen.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much. This was wonderful. Thank you so much for doing this today. I know the fans love getting to see the Caps players on the outside, their families, their hobbies, things like that. And you guys are the future of this organization. So it's great that they can start seeing that and getting to know you guys off the ice as well. So thank you so much for doing this today. Enjoy your 4th of July. Hope you don't have another 2-hour Uber downtown tonight. But really appreciate it, and best of luck. Have fun the rest of your summer, and we'll hopefully see you guys soon.
Yep. Thank you for having us.